everybody. Welcome back to the Marine Corps Movie Minute, where we're breaking down movies of the Marine Corps 1 minute at a time. I'm Jack.
I'm Billy.
And this is minute number 105. It is 105, right?
It is 105. You are correct, sir. Yeah. You are correct, sir.
Yeah. Too much time in the Carolinas.
Math is hard.
I know. This is a straight-up combat scene, continues from last minute. I think Jones decided he wants to re-enlist at this point. And it's just combat. It's just gunfighting all the time.
We definitely see what Stitch had in mind with that bulldozer. He gets it going. He wasn't talking shit like he usually does. He did know how to hotwire that thing.
Yeah, he was pretty good with it, and yeah, he knew how to operate it.
So Forgetty gets on the top of the bulldozer and lays prone, which I feel like, I understand he's up there to shoot and maybe he could do some covering fire, and he should be mostly low profile, but I do feel like he's fairly exposed up there.
Very much exposed, and then right over the covered in glass cab. Yeah, your two occupants are pretty high at risk.
Yeah. Now, Stitch does raise the bulldozer, blade fairly early on as soon as he gets it going.
Mm-hmm.
So that would offer him some protection, I would imagine.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's one thing to know how to hotwire a simple machinery. It's another thing to know how to operate it.
Yeah. Dozer operators are paid pretty decent money for a reason. It's not an easy piece of equipment to operate.
Maybe he did binary load lifters in his previous job, and it's very similar to his. I bet you he speaks bocce too.
He took the MCI, the Marine Corps Institute, on heavy equipment.
Yeah, right. Well, there you go. It's now, like you said, if the Rangers didn't go ahead and put that as like a field manual, we got an MCI of it now, I'm sure. So they do advance, and Stitch says, here comes the Ayatollah of rock and roll. You stay right there, sucker.
Yeah, he's got his big shitting grin on his face.
Yeah, because he's running them down. They're advancing all the. As he drives, the other Marines of Recon get behind the bulldozer, and they're using it for protection, especially from that machine gun nest.
Yeah.
And that's what Stitch is barreling down on. And some of the guys get up and run away, and he's like, no.
Yeah, you got no place to run and hide.
They're all returning fire, all kind of it's almost like they're casually walking behind it. You see Gunny shoot, you see Lieutenant Ring shoot, you see Swede shoot. And that's where some of the guys run away. There's one particular scene. You see one guy fall over from the machine gun nest, the A gunner, basically. He gets hit, and he goes down. We don't see who shot him. But right at the end of the minute, about 45 seconds or so, you see Profile really just kind of lunge and shoot at the same time aggressively. And you see a dude go, he ggets hit and he goes flying into the water. So, Profile is becoming quite the Marine.
Yeah, he's kind of figuring it out. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't hesitate. Not that he did his job, and so his Profile took somebody out, and they just keep going forward. They run over the nest, and they stop basically once they get to the bridge. Corporal Collins returns fire, and Forgetty gets down, and that's really it. A couple guys. Oh, you know what? They do take. There's a ditch in the ground, and a bunch of them get into prone position, and they return fire from the safety of the ditch with on the side of the bulldozer again. But again, they took out the biggest threat, which was the machine gun nest.
Yeah.
And from there, they're going to, see about crossing the bridge. And they did take out some of the resistance as well as they approached.
I think I don't know if it's confirmed. That's not confirmed in this minute, but I think they get them all, don't they?
I'm not really sure, because you did see some guys run away, but I feel like... Yeah, I feel like Collins, because this minute ends on Collins returning fire, basically.
Yeah, I remember
I feel like next minute he's that grenade launcher is going to come into play.
Yeah.
And so I think he's going to get the guys across the bridge and retreat.
Yeah, because there's a scene with that Cuban flag later on that kind of establishes that these guys marked their position.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. And we didn't actually talk about that. And actually, I'm not sure. Is that a Cuban? It's got to be a Cuban flag, but
I think it is.
Yeah, it's definitely. But yes, you're right. There is a flag that's not the United States flag.
Yeah, and it gets promptly removed.
Yeah, but right now it is flying high over the bridge there. It's almost like capture the flag,
Yeah, they're gonna capture it and throw it away.
Basically. Yeah, but I mean, I'd be curious as to. I mean, obviously, we talked about last minute how this was true to real life. The Rangers at the airport used the bulldozers that were meant to prevent them from taking the airfield, and they used it for protection and took the airfield. So,
Yeah.
I'm curious as to tactically how realistic this particular scene would be, though.
Yeah. The bulldozer's not painted in like your normal Caterpillar yellow or any like other kind of civilian color. It's cami painted. It's got military markings on it. So it looks like the Cuban forces may have brought it with them. They just kind of left it out there with the keys in it.
Well, no. You had a hot wire.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, all right, is it like that because movie wise, like in universe movie,
Right.
was this left because we know that these Cuban engineers are Cuban military sent there to help, the Marxists that took over? Or is this because this was filmed with the help of the United States military
yeah.
and they just happen to have a
Bulldozer.
bulldozer that was camouflage?
Yeah.
Either way, I'll just go with the Cubans left it there because we know that, these are Cuban regulars and not local fanatics.
Yeah, the Cuban version of Gober Pyle just kind of parked it in the right situation for these guys. Far enough away that the Cubans couldn't use their own equipment for anything beneficial.
Well, maybe they had a traitor, maybe a turncoat.
Yeah. He got in a raft and floated over to Florida.
Yeah, maybe this was his way out. It was like, like I'm gonna help the Americans. I'm gonna defect.
Yeah, I'm outie.
Maybe it was that one guy that ran away right away.
Yeah.
But I noticed too. It's very convenient that the Cubans were aimed specifically at the blade because you see a lot of the bullets pinging off of that, but
they're not hitting the ground; they're hitting
right.
the blade. It's like,
or they don't hit the glass or anything like that. Yeah. Or it's almost like it had a bullseye on it.
Yeah, almost.
But Stitch seems to be enjoying himself.
Yeah, man. I think he's digging this military thing now. I think he's all in.
It almost I keep waiting for him to it was on Hot Shots Part 2 when the guy that was part of the unit that they were going in to go in to get the guys that went in to get the guys, and he pops up out of the, I forget his name. He's a character actor you'd recognize, and he pops up out of the jungle and he's like, "War, it's fantastic." That's Stitch. He's enjoying himself.
Yeah.
At least at the moment. I don't know if that's going to continue.
Yeah, well, Stitch is having this is his good first war, man. I mean, there's some stuff that we know later on that happens that, hell, it caused me to re-enlist if I thought it was going to be this way all the time.
Well, yeah, he is the Ayatollah of rock and roll. He is definitely portraying that while in combat.
Yep.
I mean, they still haven't crossed this bridge yet. I mean, it's been a whole week, and they still haven't made it to the college, so they're definitely hitting some resistance along the way.
Yeah, some pretty heavy resistance, taking them 2 weeks to get there.
Yeah, Jesus, podcast is lasting longer than the actual invasion.
You know.
I mean, I really don't have a lot for these minutes, unfortunately.
No, man, not really.
Yeah, I mean, it's good stuff. I mean, I'm enjoying these minutes.
Yeah.
But it's as far as, and I like this true to life, portrayal
cool.
over the last 2 minutes. But as far as it's just a couple, it's one unit versus another unit. It's not a big epic battle. It's just a firefight.
Yeah.
Not just a firefight. I say that as if I'm like, but I mean, as far as movie, it's a couple fire teams really against a couple fire teams, and they're crossing a bridge. It's pretty standard stuff.
I think this is an American piece of hardware, this bulldozer.
Well, it makes sense because this was all filmed in Puerto Rico.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously Puerto Rico was...
Well, yeah, it's an American territory, but it actually says forward. When he puts it in gear, it just says forward, and it doesn't say it in Spanish. It says it in English. So, I think this might have been an American piece of hardware that they used. Like, maybe like one of the...
Well, you know what probably happened? The Cubans bought it from the Americans before the embargo, and they've just been fixing it since the 60s.
Listen, man, I'm going to give those commies some hell for some stuff, but their love and care of old classic American cars is incredible.
Right. Well,
they keep those old 50 Chevys together. Apparently, it's like that whole country is just like a classic car show.
Yeah, it's like you're going into like those old Russian uh, American towns where they sent the KGB and their agents to train, so they knew what it was like, but they didn't have any up to date '80s information. It was all '50s, and they were like, "Oh, this is all out of date. We gotta get John Travolta to come over here and show us what it's like to be in the '80s." I don't remember the name of that movie.
I don't either, but I remember.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay. It's like they send those two guys over.
Yeah.
We're gonna start a nightclub over in this town. It's in Russia and it's a combat. It's like a KGB town.
I think that's the one where he ended up meeting his wife, Kelly. Was it Kelly Preston?
Yeah, I think she's in that, isn't she?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't realize that.
Yep.
R.I.P.
It's
Too soon.
Too soon.
I was very much in love with her in Space Camp.
I was very much in love with her and just about everything. She was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else about this movie?
No, I do not.
No, me neither. A good minute, a good week.
Yeah, great week.
Quick stuff, but good action, good entertaining part of the movie. War movie.
Yeah.
Part of of this. Marines in action is always fun to see. So, well, it's Friday. I'm going to just ask everybody then to come back on Monday, of course. But before you do that, you have 2 days to go to the moviesbyminute.com and peruse the other Movies by Minutes. Please pay special attention to the Star Wars Minute. Go ahead and take a look at some of the other Movies by Minutes that are out there. Also, go ahead and find us on Facebook and our Quarterdeck page. We'd love it if anybody wants to join. And then also if anybody wants to just follow us on Instagram or Marine Corps Movie Minute Pod. Other than that, we'll just, come back. We'll see if these guys ever make it to college,
As long as it's taking them to get there, they made it with degrees by the time that they arrive.
Yeah, might as well,
Medical degrees.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Dr. Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla. Here he comes. Well, Perry, you stay right there, sucker, and I'll be back on Monday for the next minute. Yeah, I wonder. You're right, and I wonder if that's because this was meant to be Cuban engineers.
Well, I accidentally muted myself when I said that.
Oh, say it again then.
Yeah,